Hey everybody, it's Mr. Mott. What we're going to do is introduce you guys to the concept of a mole, which is a really important idea in chemistry. The word mole is a counting ratio, and a lot of people don't know what that means, what a counting ratio is. What it is, it's a word that represents a number, and we use these all the time. For instance, if I said couple, you'd probably think that that means that there's, like, for instance, two of them. I might use the word pair as well. For two. I guess a pair of pants is sort of a weird one there. If I was going to try to represent the number 3, I might use the word few. If I use the word dozen, then it would equal 12. There are some other ones that are maybe not as commonly known. For instance, a gross is 144. I think there's terms like in farming called bushel, which is a certain amount. I actually don't know that off the top of my head. You might have read some books where they reference a fortnight, and a fortnight is going to mean 2 weeks or 14 days. And a mole is also a word that means a number. It just means a very, very, very big number. All right, so here we go. 602. And then there's 21 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. So that's what a mole is. It's this incredibly big number that's really hard to wrap your mind around. If you had a mole of basketballs, it would be the size of the earth. If we had a mole of pennies, and we put them, kind of stack them side by side, it would circle the earth over 270 trillion times. It's such a big number, it's really even hard to comprehend. Now, this number, instead of writing this out like this, we actually put this in scientific notation, so it's a little bit sort of easier to write down and everything. In order to do that, we're going to take our decimal at the very end, and we're going to move it in between the 6 and the 0 here. And that's going to help us figure out what this number means in scientific notation. So if I counted correctly, we're going to move it over 23 times. So let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. The iPad did something kind of weird with the lines there, but we moved over 23 times. So what that means is that a mole is equal to 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. All right, now, if you're not super familiar with scientific notation, the 23 references sort of how many times we moved our decimal place over all those times, so that we got a number that was between 1 and 9. And then it's a positive value because this number is greater than 1. All right. Now, chemists and scientists, we typically only use this number when we're talking about atoms or molecules. But if you had a mole of anything, then you would have 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd of them, all right, no matter what they were. Now, this number is attributed to a scientist named Avogadro. So we call this Avogadro's number because he came up with the idea about the mole. And later on in the units, we'll end up talking more about how he came up with this idea about the mole and what the word mole is actually short for. But that's the idea about the mole, and we're going to end up using this value as a conversion factor when we end up talking about atoms and molecules. Thanks for watching.